Hey Fruit Faces, it is KlaireeBerry and I am here to talk with you guys today about how to lose those holiday pounds that you might have put on, or if you maybe didn't even put on some pounds but you still want to lose some weight, or even just get healthier. I think these are some really good tips for you. I have lost 5 pounds since the new year already, and it's been 2 weeks. It's the 14th today, so 2 weeks, 5 pounds. Pretty healthy weight. It's not like, oh, 5 pounds of water weight in one night, like some diets and things. What I'm going to give you guys today are some real life tips that are going to support your health, like I said, and not just try to, lose the pounds super fast, because we all know that if it comes off super fast, it's probably going to come right back on equally fast. The most lasting weight is usually the slowest to be lost. So last year I lost 23 pounds and I'm really, really satisfied. I feel healthier, I feel happier, more confident. And also, I know I've talked about this before, but I really do believe that, for numerous reasons, that to be a bit skinnier, even than most people think you should be, or even as the experts might say, I think is actually a little bit healthier. I'm not saying, super, super, super skinny is healthier, but Dr. Garth Davis says that on the lowest end of the BMI, healthy scale is the best. I've seen numerous studies that show that waist circumference, the smaller, is actually better. I know in most American studies that you'll see there's a J curve or whatever that shows that if you're too skinny, it's not healthy. But I think those studies are a little bit flawed. They're also based on BMI, so BMI is not as good as a waist circumference. So anyways, besides that, let's just delve right into it. I've got 10 tips for you guys here. Well, maybe 11. So the first one is tracking. Track what you're eating. Track what you're doing. You don't have to be completely anal about it, but studies show that this is one of the top things you can do for weight loss. Write it down. Have a journal. And it doesn't have to be you don't have to go to the extreme of writing down every single thing you eat. Like for me, it's as simple as keeping track of my weight or my, inches on a pretty regular basis. If you know that you messed up one day, you might want to skip that day and just not even worry about it. Or you may want to track it, track your just for informational purposes. But I'm not telling you have to weigh every day or measure every day or anything like that. I think the most important thing is tracking your food. And like I said, you don't have to necessarily write down everything or input everything that you're eating. I think that is a good idea to go on Chronometer and do that for a while, just to see what nutrients you might be, consuming less of on a regular basis. Like track your average meals and your average days for a while. But I unless you love it, I don't think it's necessary. I think that as long as what I do is I write down my bad choices. Like if I eat something that's high in fat that might not be what I wanted to eat that day, I'll write that down, and that helps me to kind of keep track in my own little way. It's very easy, and it's just nice because I've been a calorie counter my entire adult life, and it's nice to not have to really worry about that. And on the flip side, at this stage, if I count anything, honestly, I count carbs, and I do that to get as many carbs as I possibly can. I like to get around 500 grams of carbs every single day. So sometimes I'll go through phases where I track, make sure I'm getting enough carbs. So number 2, have fun with it. Don't make this beat yourself up every morning. Oh, even if you are obese or overweight, it's a mental game, and you have to kind of trick yourself. If you associate your weight loss with negativity, if you step on the scale every morning and that makes you feel bad, then you're really going to have a negative connotation for your whole weight loss and health. And negativity just brings more negativity. It's not going to help you. So make sure that you're having fun with this. Make it a game. Make it a fun challenge if you can. I know that doing little charts sometimes is fun, and just in different ways. Sometimes just having the numbers and the dates and saying, okay, here is not as good. Sometimes I like to make a little what looks like a thermometer, and put your goal on there, and then you can inch towards it and reward yourself, and all of that sort of thing, so that it's fun, and just having an attitude towards it to where it's fun. When you're making your salads and everything, make it fun. When you're making your smoothies, have fun with it, you know? So there's a lot of different creative ways you could possibly do that, but just realize it is mental. And how you go about that is going to be very, very determinant on your success. 3, plan ahead. This is huge, huge, because when we go to the store and we buy something, we're stuck with what we bought. So if you go to the store, you know, when you're tired and hungry, you left your list at home, didn't make a list, whatever, you go and buy all this junk food, then guess what? You're going to be stuck eating that for the next week, 2, 3, or more. So make sure that whenever you're going to the store, you're rested, you're not in a bad mood, you're full as fuck, I would almost venture to say, and have your list. Take some time to plan ahead. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And also the planning goes for whenever you're just out and about, not shopping, but just doing other things. Make sure that you have your food with you, especially as new vegans or, you know, people on a new diet, where you're changing your lifestyle, changing your diet. You really, really need to have your healthy foods with you, because if you get hungry, then that's when you're going to fail. That's when you're going to succumb to choices that are there. And a lot of times what is there, you know, at the office or at the fast food joints or whatever, is not going to be on your plan. So, you know, always have something with you. I always try to have a little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory as well, because it never fails. If I only have one, I want the other. And this is just really, really, really important, because if you are full, then you're not going to want to eat the things. You're not going to be tempted. You're just not. So make sure and fill up ahead of time. If you're going to a party, if you're going out to eat at a restaurant that you know that doesn't have a lot of options, feel free to have a huge smoothie beforehand. Potatoes, fill yourself up. Next one, goals, of course, are very important, and not only goals, but kind of visualizing the lifestyle that you want. Very important. And don't just do this once. If you do a journal or a vision board, make sure and revisit that. And again, this is part of making it fun, that you're imagining. Use your power of imagination to really feel yourself in your new body that you want. Feel yourself in your new active, fun, fit lifestyle. And don't make your goals strictly number goals, because number goals, this amount of pounds, is just not fun. It's not exciting as much, and we just don't grasp onto that. Whereas if you're having a goal that's really tangible and really you're able to kind of put yourself in, you know, say on the beach running, you know, for miles, feeling, or just, you know, laying out on the beach feeling comfortable, or this or that, like whatever sparks joy for you, whatever makes sense for you, go ahead and hold on to that. Hold it close. Do little post-it notes to remind yourself. You don't have to even write it out. It could be a symbol, it could be a picture or whatever, but just have that goal in mind. And also, I'm a big fan of mini goals. I know some people say you should have one goal and focus on it, and I do think that it's good to have one bigger goal, but I definitely think that having smaller goals that kind of help and align with the other goal is good, so that if one day you're more motivated by this area, then maybe that's not motivating you the next day. You know, maybe something else is going to motivate you. So having little goals, and I think that is really important to make a lot of these different health goals, and not just a number, a measurement, fitting into this size, or, you know, being able to go on the beach. I really think that it needs to be a whole lifestyle, and they need to be, some of them need to be fitness goals, and you can have health goals to where, you know, you're eating 500 grams of carbs a day, or whatever your goal is. But I just think the little mini goals can help you, because, you know, monotony is not good, and it's good to kind of switch it up and focus on different things, and it'll keep your mind fresh. It'll keep your motivation fresh. So the next one, indoor weather. Okay, I don't know about you guys, wherever you are. I know it's summer in Australia and other places, but for now it's winter. We're like in I call January like the hump day, the hump month of winter for us here in the Midwest. We just had, here in Kansas City, Missouri, by the way. We had about 7 to like 10 inches of snow right now, so it's really difficult for a lot of people to keep on their fitness goals if they're only used to running or if they're only used to cycling. This is when I go to the gym in the winter, and even the gym's tricky because it's like you go to the gym in bad weather, but if the weather's too bad, if it's snowy, then you don't want to go to the gym either. So you really need to have different options and different things that you enjoy doing for those different phases of life. So for me, I have my mini trampoline. I have, of course, weights. I've got an Indo board. You don't have to have all of these things. YouTube, you can do great videos. And I really honestly feel like a lot of full body movement stuff is way better for our bodies than just like lifting certain weights or doing certain movements that don't really engage your whole entire body. So yeah, just make sure that you have good indoor weather options or whatever, backup plans. I can't believe I put this one as, well, number 5 or 6. I don't know. I'm off on my numbers because I actually started with 0. So, excuse me. I can't do this video without hyping up the high carb, low fat vegan diet lifestyle, actually. Definitely a lifestyle for me. I've been doing it for 5 years now. And, a lot of people have looked at me and said, oh, well, you've only lost 20 or 30 pounds and, you weren't really obese or overweight before. So, like, how do we know, like, this isn't really working for you? And I'm like, well, you don't know, like, the whole story. You don't know how I've lost candida and IBS symptoms and horrible afternoon slumps and, how everything works better for me, from my head literally to my toes. Skin, nails, hair, everything is better. I actually, you guys, and here's the thing, you can't really judge. I never remember to condition my hair anymore because it's so healthy that I don't even need to. Like, I've gotten really off of it. It's really weird. And as far as like my weight goes, I didn't show a lot of pictures from when I was at my heaviest. I would hide it. I would hide out and not do that. And then also, the thing is that I used to eat 1,200 calories to try to get where I was, for the pictures that I took back then. I was basically, doing cleanses or doing like, I don't want to say starvation because I was never as good at it to do that, but I would like drastically reduce my calories. Well, I will say starvation because anything under about 1,600 calories a day for, an adult is a starvation diet. So yeah, I was doing starvation diets up until like, so you would see these pictures of me looking just about the same as I do now, but now I eat 3,000 calories like every single day almost, and 500 grams of carbs, and I don't skip meals unless I'm just really not hungry. I listen to my body, but it's just the lifestyle is totally different. And when you eat whole foods, mostly, I'm not a whole, stickler on that because I really don't think that it's that necessary, but mostly whole food, plant-based, all vegan. I just go for it. It helps you out so much. Lost 15 pounds immediately when I went vegetarian, and then another 5 more when I went vegan. So, very, very, very important not to be eating those high fat, high protein animal products. Your body is a complete system, and in the West here, we actually really, 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 really overlook this. We tend to break things down. Oh, certain macronutrients, certain nutrients, certain, this or that. And it's like, and even for our bodies, we're like, oh, we're taking this for this, we're taking that for that. And then we don't, we'll take drugs without realizing that it's going to affect some other organ or some other part. Like, our body is obviously a system. So anything that you do that's negative, like eating a high animal protein diet, is going to really affect your whole body. So when you're eating high carb, your body has enough energy to exercise, and then you can exercise more. Exercise is important not just for weight loss, but for health. And I want to stress cardio, 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 cardio. When we breathe more, we burn more fat, but it's also just good for your heart. It's good for your brain. It's good for every single cell in your body to do cardio. So I'm huge on cardio, but definitely high carb, low fat, lots of fruit, lots of potatoes, rice, beans, vegetables. I cannot express vegetables enough. My mom's really big right now. She's doing like a low diabetes type of diet that's almost vegan, not really, but she's real big on getting vegetables in early for breakfast, and then that'll like set you up for the rest of the day to want to eat more healthy. And I believe in that. But the low fat piece is also very important. You know, if you're eating a lot of vegan junk food, it's just not going to help you. So learn to kind of save those things for special occasions, you know, once a week or once a month. You know, the less, the better. Really, the less fat you eat, the better. So, and if you are going to have fat, make sure that it's good plant-based, like avocados and coconuts. They have phytonutrients, they have fiber, which is actually going to help you not absorb as much fat. Whereas like if you're eating animal-based fats and proteins, then there's no fiber in there to kind of help with the extra fat. And really, you know, I'm not against fat in general. I do eat very, 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 very low amounts of fat, usually, but I'm not a fatophobe. I just think that, you know, you definitely need to limit it because too much is not good, not only for weight loss, but for like detox and different things like that. So moving on. The next one, I really just like this visualization of treating your body like a preschooler or like a kindergartner. You know, make sure you're going to bed on time. Make sure you take a nap if you need it. Get that rest. Sometimes even just resting, you know, meditation or lying down for 10 minutes out of your day is going to do wonders for your hormones. Our hormones, we really have to realize, are intricately tied to weight loss. And this is why everybody tries to shortcut their weight loss. They end up screwing up their hormones and then ended up gaining weight or gaining health problems in the future. So you want to circumvent that by treating yourself. It's self-care. It's basic self-care to, you know, like I said, get enough sleep, drink enough water, eat enough food. You know, when people try to do these fasts and starve themselves, it's like they think that, oh, there's this science or everybody's doing it, so it must be true. But really, fasting is like keto. It's like your benefits only come from starvation. So as soon as you go back to a regular diet, you are going to lose all of the progress that you made. And obviously it's so cliche, but we don't need a diet. We need a healthy lifestyle that we can live on if you want to remain in this healthy state. And don't fear, I've done lots of videos on this, but I have to interject it. You will get used to this food and you will love it and it will taste good to you because your taste buds will change after a while. So don't feel like, oh, you know, if I eat this healthy food and I don't like it now, that it's going to be the, you know, this lifestyle you have to do for the rest of your life and you're going to, you know, basically feel, you know, like you're restricting yourself your whole entire life. On the contrary, that's what the government is telling all these the Physicians Committee for plant-based medicine and all of that oh, people aren't going to want to do this diet, it's too restrictive. But in reality, when they do the studies, people are actually more able to stay on a high carb, low fat vegan lifestyle because they get to eat as much as they want. They realize, they start liking foods they never liked before. They start craving foods they never liked before, and they are actually very satisfied, even though the idea beforehand was that they would be restrictive. So jump right in. So yeah, water, sleep, rest, exercise, sunshine. Again, just treat yourself like a kindergartner. And also, here's another thing that little kids do. If their friend is being mean to them, screw you, I'm out of here. You know, and they go away. I see so many people get caught up, myself included, with toxic people who, you know, they're attached to. They have this mentality, you know, and again, I had an abusive boyfriend back in the day, and it was like, I remember when I was struggling to leave, it was like that whole cat lady, forever alone mentality that's so prevalent in our society. Being alone is not the worst thing. I love being alone now. I have, you know, relationships, but I don't get so caught up in them and so close to where I have to make their, like, collide our worlds. And people think that's weird, you know, that I've had a boyfriend, you know, that I don't like combine my worlds. I like to be in control of my life. I like to make decisions. I like to have free time and do what I want and not feel obligated to do this or that with somebody else. So it's self-care as well. So yeah, treat yourself like a kindergartner and just walk away, you know. And I'm not saying you have to hold a grudge forever. A lot of times, that's another thing that that kids don't do. I was a preschool teacher for at least 5 years, and then a nanny for 20 years, basically did babysitting and nannying forever. And kids will come back and they don't need to like talk about it. I mean, talking about it is good. I'm not saying that, but they don't, you know, hold these grudges the next day, or, you know, after recess or after a nice nap. They're just like, hey, you want to play? And they realize that it's really just about as deep as that. Like, I mean, yeah, there's different depths you can look at stuff, but I think realizing that other people are also children at heart, and they are realizing that other people are children at heart, and they're only acting off of what they were basically brought up as. And it's, when you realize it's a cycle, it's very easy to forgive people. But again, they're not going to sit around and hang out with people who are being jerks. So, yeah, moving on. Coffee. Everybody thinks that, oh, coffee is great for weight loss because it speeds up your metabolism, and it basically helps you not eat. It's kind of like Diet Coke and cigarettes diet, where, you know, people think they're going to lose weight off that, and it's pretty crazy. Coffee is actually pretty bad, you know, and the idea is you want to get out of this restrictive mentality that you can't eat anything. When you're eating the right foods, you get to eat more foods. That's very basic and simple. Coffee messes us up. It actually messes our stomach up. It messes our adrenals, our hormones. Most people don't even know how coffee works. They just are really so addicted to it, to where I see people posting, you know, oh, I got dressed before I had coffee, and I basically messed up and did something wrong. And it's like, you know, don't talk to me until I have coffee. That's a really, really bad way to live. You want to be able to not be that addicted. I'm not so anti-coffee. I do still have coffee every once in a while, and I'll go through phases, but I definitely feel better off of it. And I notice the weight loss is better when I'm off of it. So I don't want to have any substance have control over me, alcohol or coffee. You need to very severely limit those things or eliminate them, because you want to be in control of your body. You want to be in control of your choices. When you're taking these drugs, they're controlling your appetite. I remember back when I used to smoke weed, of course I would want to eat. I'm like, oh, this sucks. If I'm trying to lose weight, like, why am I doing this to myself? And then afterwards, if I would stop, I would not have an appetite for a while. And so I would really screw up my thing. And that's another part, going back to the kindergarten. If, you know, you want to stay steady on a stable routine, and your body will thank you for it, because your body basically wants you to kind of eat at the same general times every day, sort of kind of eat the same types of foods and the same things. You don't want to be going on diets where you're eating like only protein, and then going on diets where you're eating nothing, and then going on the high carb for a while, and then trying this and that, only doing this. It's like, maybe a little cleanse every once in a while, and getting away from bad habits is good. But if you're constantly trying something new and doing something else, the next fad diet, that's actually worse than if you just have kind of a baseline, not so healthy diet. So, and it really can mess you up. Again, hormonally, weight, lots of numerous things. So limit your coffee, and also with that is don't restrict your calories, which coffee will help us do. Because I don't know if you're like me, but when I drink coffee, I used to drink like a pot a day. And even when I was tapering off, if I would have like a little bit, and then I would keep adding water, but I was still drinking the coffee like all morning and not eating any food. And then later I would make bad choices because I was so hungry. And I found that it's better to just eat more steadily all day, and then not get so hungry, and then you won't make bad food choices later. So, okay, moving on. Fruit. Fruit is great. I like to do like a fruit till 4 or raw till 4. I think that fruit is one of the best foods. I noticed that even just after a couple of hours of eating, like, say, bananas or any kind of fruit, really, I can see my stomach start to lean out almost immediately. It's really great because it's got fiber. It's got all the, all the shit we need right away. That's readily available. Gives you energy to work out, and low fat. So fruit is great. Base your diet around fruit, around like sweet potatoes, around, anything high carb, low fat, because if you're just trying to eat a salad with not very many carbs, then you're going to be hungry later. And again, it's going to be the same thing as restriction, where you're going to binge on something that you didn't plan on, that you didn't want, that's not a part of your diet later. So been there hundreds of times. Lots of memes about it as well. You know, I love that meme about, oh, you know, a little tiny salad for breakfast, you know, or like a green juice for breakfast, and then a salad for lunch, and then a whole tub of ice cream for dinner. It's like, that is so, it's funny to laugh about, but it's sad because that's actually what a lot of us do. We wake up with all this motivation in the morning. Maybe we're not so hungry because we just ate a huge meal last night, and then we think we're going to start out the day and be so healthy, and then you're like, oh, I'm doing so much work because I'm basically starving myself for like 6 to 8 hours, or doing this huge intermittent fasting, and then it's like, fuck it, by the afternoon, because you're so moody, because your blood sugars are messed up, your hormones are messed up, everything's messed up, and your body just wants some fucking food. It's like sex. Like, it's a basic drive that we have. So fucking with it is not a good idea. Our body needs food. Again, we just need to figure out the right diet for our body, for our species, which is, of course, high carb, low fat, vegan. And if not vegan, like 99% vegan, like our ape cousins, who we share 99% DNA. Okay, so moving on. What are we on? Oh, and in regards to the cleanses, I think I've made this clear, but I don't recommend fasting, really. I mean, maybe a little intermittent fasting is okay if you don't go too long to where you're too hungry, or if you just feel like it. If your body's telling you to do it and not your mind, then yes, go for it. But with cleanses, I definitely feel like I drink juice, and people are like, oh, well, you drink juice, but it's like, we're so caught up in this day and age to associate juice with a juice fast that we actually, like, people are like, oh, don't you juice fast? I'm like, no, I never juice fast. And if I do again, it's like a juice fast till 4, and it's like not very, very often. Might be after a big meal or something like that. I definitely feel like you can kind of balance out stuff, but like a long juice fast, wouldn't do it, because whenever you are cleansing like that, and it will cleanse you out, but here's the deal, you're if you're on a juice fast, prolonged juice fast, there's no fiber coming in, and what happens is these toxins are going to be pulled out of your body, out of your cells. They're going to go right back into your bloodstream, so you're going to feel like shit. And that's why a lot of people go on a fast, they have all these detox symptoms, but it's not actually fully detoxing them, because the fiber is what takes out the toxins out of your body. So you don't want to re-experience these toxins. You want them to get out. So, you know, juice till 4, smoothies till 4, raw till 4, whatever, and then do it. Or if you wanted to do a longer cleanse, I would recommend like just a fruit cleanse, you know. But what I do is basically, like, if I want to cleanse, say I want to cleanse my body, what I will do is just do like a juice, like I said, juice till 4, raw till 4, and then have a very, very simple meal, or do like a real high veggie meal. And I will definitely include high carbs, but again, real low fat. And I feel like this is the best way to cleanse your body. And your body will, when your body knows what to expect, it knows it's going to get food, it's not going to freak out and alter its ways of metabolism and all of that. That's hard on your body. And it's proven, you know, like keto, when you're really altering how your body operates and metabolizes food, it's just not a good plan, especially if you're going back and forth. Horrible for your body. Again, your body wants stability. It wants to know what's coming. When it knows that it's going to get some good, clean, healthy foods on regular intervals, then I think it's more efficient, and it'll be able to clean itself out better, because it's not severely having to change these pathways and everything's metabolic pathways. Okay, so what is next? So number 10, stay motivated. You know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. You know, stay motivated, but also do it for the right reasons, not just, oh, you know, I want to be skinny like her, I want to look like her, because a lot of times we're idealizing people with completely different body types who are honestly either starving, or they're getting surgery, or it's photoshopped and stuff like that. So, you know, be realistic, but also make it about health. Have your why. Your why should be a little bit deeper than, oh, I want to fit into those jeans. Because again, you'll go through moods where, oh, those jeans, that bathing suit fuck it, that's not motivating to me right now. So you need to have like numerous motivations, and health is one of the best motivations, because here's the deal. If you're just trying to lose weight, then a lot of times what I see is people are doing these restrictive diets. You might have the skinniest girl, but they start to get diet mouth, and then they start to get a lot of wrinkles, and they look really old. And so then you may have a real skinny person, but they look really old. So that really defeats the purpose of, the point. If people are trying to lose weight, trying to get this skinny, they want to look good. They're doing it to look good, you know what I mean? And feel good. But because when you look good, you feel good, you feel good, you look good. But again, if you're skinny and you got a face full of, excess wrinkles at a young age where you shouldn't have those, you're not going to feel good. So be sure to focus on your whole health, head to toe, self-love and all that. And then that way you'll be glowing from the inside out. And that's what health really is. I think that's why deep down we all want to be, thin, because it's associated with active. And we want to, as we age, have our movement, be able to live. And it's something we don't think about, and we get caught up in this, skinny, skinny, because our culture is so like throwing these things at us, and we prioritize that above. But again, don't do it at the expense of everything else. And again, if you're sick, then it's not cute either. So different types of motivation, keep it in front of you, positive self-talk, positive affirmations. Also kind of ties in with the next one, having a buddy. This is another thing very scientifically proven as one of the top 2 or 3 things that is really, really important. Staying accountable, have a buddy. You could post on Instagram. When I did the calendar last year, the weight loss calendar, I felt like it was really motivating for me. And I didn't even do it every single month until the end, but staying accountable really helps. So if you have a buddy, or if you can find buddies or groups online, it's so easy these days. You can do it diet-wise, you could do it exercise-wise, however you want to do it, whatever you think is going to be best for you. Then just go for it. So let me know what you guys think. Did this help you? Do you have other tips you want to add? Do you have a problem with anything I've said? Let me know. And yeah, take care. Don't forget to eat your fruit. Again, you can find me on KlaireeBerry, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. I can help you guys stay motivated and accountable if you would like. So yeah, hope this helps somebody, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Thanks.